Hey guys, welcome to the Retro Ranger Wrap-Up. I am Joe. This is...
And I'm Javier.
Now, a glaring difference from the past episodes is Kelly and DJ are not here.
Sorry, guys.
They are on vacation. Javier is filling in for the both of them this week. Just a little bit about your Power Ranger history and knowledge. You haven't seen the show in quite a while.
Oh, no. It's been years, actually, since I've watched Power Rangers, but a very fond memory because it was a big part of my childhood. The movies, the toys. I mean, like any kid in the 90s, Power Rangers was a big part of my life. But
and you stuck around all the way throughout, like, the first season, the first 3 seasons.
Yeah. I remember I remember Ivan Ooze. I remember them becoming ninjas. And after them becoming ninjas, that's where my memory starts to fade.
Now, who was your favorite Power Ranger when you were a kid growing up?
When I first started watching, I really liked the Red Ranger, Jason.
Jason, okay.
But as soon as I saw Jason David Frank,
Tommy?
Yeah, he took over.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was. He seemed like the most badass guy of everybody on the show because he seemed like he could be a real life Power Ranger. But yeah, he was awesome. From the White Ranger to the Green Ranger, he had the flute.
Green Ranger's the White Ranger.
Oh yeah, which one came first?
Green.
Okay, so Green came first, but he had the flute and he had the talking sword.
Yeah.
Which I thought was so cool because no one else had that, a talking weapon, like a sidekick.
It's interesting, though, because how old were you probably back then? You were about like a kid, right?
I was born in 91, so pretty young.
Yeah, so you were tiny. So
Yeah.
the question I have is, did a lot of the nostalgia come back for you watching this?
Oh.
We were talking about teamwork, by the way. Power Rangers episode, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers episode 3, teamwork. But we're not going to go into the full story part of this yet. We're going to talk about some news, small news. But I'm just talking. We're going to try to catch everyone up to speed on Javier's Power Ranger knowledge.
Totally.
But yeah, did this bring back nostalgia for you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So watching this episode before the show, just so I could refresh the history, it was way more fun than I thought it was going to be. I watched it and I thought it was going to be super cheesy, but as soon as I heard the that awesome guitar riff at the beginning, I was like, oh hell yeah, this is awesome. And it brought me back to what I loved about the show when I was a kid, which was fighting monsters and just really cool robots.
Yeah, the mechs and stuff.
Yeah, everything about it's really cool. I mean, if they took it seriously, it'd be even better. But you enjoy the cheesiness and the campiness of it because it's for kids and it's a really fun show.
So speaking of taking it a little bit seriously, it looks like the 2017 movie is going to move in that direction.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'm excited to see Bryan Cranston.
Right?
Yeah, he looks really... I mean, he's a really good actor in general.
And he was also in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Was he?
Yeah, he was a voice actor for some of the monsters.
Are you serious?
Yeah, dead serious.
Wow.
That comes full circle.
Yeah, I was going to say, life comes full circle. That's amazing. Well, I mean, him as Zordon, it's going to be badass. Seeing him as the big giant head. They haven't had any pictures of Zordon.
Not yet. Zordon, I think Zordon is one of the only characters we haven't really seen anything.
Yeah.
But the weird thing about this Power Rangers, the Mighty Morphin movie, is that we're getting a lot of our first looks at the Power Rangers in toy form before we are in actual production stills.
It makes sense. Usually the toys come out beforehand for the kids to get them hyped about the movie. But my thing, they all look very robotic, heavy armor.
Yeah, like Iron Man.
Yeah. They look like a bunch of Iron Mans, just different colors.
Right. Well, the reason I bring up the movie is because the movie Funko Pops just recently came out. Those are going to be hitting shelves very soon. This is not one of the movie Funko Pops, but we are seeing them come out in stores. They're in the wild currently. Are you a Funko Pop guy?
Not really.
Yeah,
I mean, I like it. It's just I feel like if I were to get really invested in them,
you get a lot of
yeah, and I just don't have the room.
Down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
In other news, the Ninja Storm, Power Ranger Ninja Storm is the new season that's coming out. It's coming out in January.
And which season is that?
I think 25.
Whew. That's as old as I am.
Yeah, almost. See, it's somewhere around there, 24, 25. Ninja Steel, we got our first look at what in toy form actually, first look at what they look like in the cockpit of the Zords. I think this is going to be mostly American-based. I wish DJ was here to confirm that because we don't know. But I think it is mainly the American-based. This is going to be the American-based Zord stuff, just like they did with all the Neo Saban stuff, the Samurai, Super Samurai, Mega Force, Super Mega Force, Dino Charge, Dino Supercharge. You see, there's a theme there.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, so that's going to be the American cockpit stuff, which I think is going to be pretty cool. I'm excited for this season of Power Rangers because I feel like the resurgence of Power Rangers is in full effect now. We got a 2017 movie.
Oh yeah.
I'm a little under the weather. Sorry, guys. Just a little bit. Javier's filling in. We already have DJ and Kelly out. But the show goes on. But I'm excited. Would you go back and watch any of the 2017 stuff? The new Power Ranger TV show stuff?
Well, I mean, I haven't seen any of it, so it all depends on...
Fresh eyes.
True, yeah. I mean, I think I would watch the show before watching the movie, just because of, like you said, the nostalgic feel of
the
it.
Mighty Morphin, though.
Yeah. But, well, even the new series.
Okay.
I'd really like to watch some of that as well, just because I'd like to see how much has changed. You know, I know originally it was Rita Repulsa, and the guy had like muscly skin. I forget his name.
It's Lord Zed.
Lord Zed, yeah, that's it. So I remember those two, and the whole theme was like the Power Rangers, they got special weapons occasionally, like in this past episode, and their Megazords would fight whatever monsters they created and made them blow up. I would like to see if any of that's changed.
Yeah.
I'm assuming some of it hasn't because,
it's the Power Ranger trope.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like more so now that's what happens. But the only thing is, now I feel like especially Dino Charge really did this. They actually started making it more of a narrative where this Power Ranger episode that you just saw is a standalone. You don't really need to see what comes before or after it.
No, you don't.
Whereas in some of these newer seasons, it definitely has a through line of what's expected.
Right, like there's an arc that's happening throughout the series,
Right.
the season. Right. That makes sense.
But let's get into the show. Power Rangers, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Episode 3, Teamwork. And here we go.
Behold, Billy, this is your power lance, a weapon of great power and range. Kimberly, behold your power bow, accurate and strong. Jason, this is your power sword, key to all the weapon's powers. Zachary, behold the power axe, lightning quick and hard as diamond. Trini, your power daggers are feather-light and true as arrows. Use these weapons together and you will be unstoppable.
That Minotaur's history.
All right, Episode 3, Teamwork, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. What'd you think?
Oh, okay. So first thoughts, I was like, this is a giant toy commercial. I mean, they got new weapons first off, and that weapon became a bigger weapon that they all used. All the Megazords came out, of course, which is pretty common, I'm assuming, for every episode. But throughout the whole show, I was just like, this is a giant toy commercial, and it's amazing.
It is. It's great. Now, we do get a little bit of character development. We get to find out that Trini and Kimberly are really into saving the environment, which actually transcends until today.
Really?
Which is a bigger thing. Well, you got to think, like, now we're seeing a lot of stuff about saving the environment. About,
True.
About global warming and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, in a sense, Power Rangers socially was a little ahead of its time with these kind of things.
I would say so. I mean, if you're getting kids into that, I mean, it makes sense. Get them learning about it early, and yeah, I mean, even at the end, they have like the little cleaning up montage where the principal of the school, I guess, is like, "What's this mess doing?"
Principal Kaplan,
yeah, that's it.
You brought up a great point off record that when Kimberly and Trini asked for Billy, Jason, and Zach's help, they all had an excuse why they didn't go.
Yeah.
But the glaring one, which I thought was hilarious that you had mentioned, was which one?
It was, okay, so Kimberly and Trini are asking for help, and Zach, he's like, sorry, Alpha needed me, just me alone at the command center. So I can't help out. And as soon as he said that, I was like, that's weird. Why would Alpha only want Zach? And then the next scene is like, he's dancing, like showing him how to do like hip hop breakdancing to Alpha because Alpha wants to learn how to dance, I guess.
Well, in a way, you were like, that's such a weird subplot.
Yeah, it is. Like, because it goes nowhere. And it's like, I should probably go back to helping Kimberly and Trini now because they needed me.
Well, the subplot, I think, is like trying to humanize Alpha and trying to make Alpha like more... have humanistic characters. Humanistic, is that even a word?
Yeah, why not?
Humanizing characters. I think that's the cool thing about Alpha, and I didn't even really notice it until you had brought that up, is that Power Rangers does this weird thing with, not weird, but it does this like thing with Alpha where it takes him on this humanistic journey, which I didn't even really notice.
I mean, I would assume like if you have these 5 teenagers who are just thrust into being superheroes, and the robot that's there to like guide them throughout the whole process, why wouldn't this robot be curious about being human or human life.
You know, a lot of Power Rangers, now that we're talking about it, is a lot about fitting in. If you think about it, because Alpha is trying to fit in with his five counterparts in the humans, and Bulk and Skull, I feel, in a sense, are also trying to fit in with the other 5, which shout out to Kelly, because Kelly always brings up this point, that Bulk and Skull, she feels bad for them because they always get like, they're not the cool kids that get to hang out with everybody else. But it's true. I feel like they are always kind of trying to fit in, going about it the wrong way, obviously.
Oh, totally.
But trying to fit in nonetheless. One thing that, again, and it happens in the previous 2 episodes, is one thing I completely forgot about, which I give much credit to Pauly Schreier, that played Bulk, is his physical comedy. Like the Laurel and Hardy physical comedy, because they almost do as much as the Power Rangers, just on the comedic aspect in terms of physicality. And I'm always impressed by what new gimmick they're gonna get. They fit him into a trash can. They all these new gimmicks that they have him do. It's great.
I remember at one point there was something involving, like, there was an episode about heights.
That was the last episode we just did.
Was that the last episode? Yeah, because I remember. Which one was the bigger guy?
Bulk.
Okay, that makes sense. I remember Bulk. He was trying to climb a rope.
Yes.
And like it just collapsed, and then you just like it's a pause, and then just the ceiling falls on him. Like it was really like it's Three Stooges kind of style.
Yeah. Like a very Laurel and Hardy's Three Stooges stuff. Yeah. I think that's so charming to these characters, and watching them evolve, because I mean, if you stick around enough, I know Kelly's gonna figure it out that these characters do evolve into like a completely different kind of tone.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
Which is great for the show overall. Now looking back, since we just talked about who your favorite Ranger was growing up.
Yes.
Looking at it now, because growing up too, I was a JDF guy too. But looking at it now, I think Billy's my favorite, because I think Billy is, to me, has the best acting chops, because he's not necessarily in real life like this brainy guy.
Right.
But he has to know all this like jargon where it's like, oh wow, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Wasn't there I don't know if it was this episode that we watched or a different episode. I might be remembering something else. But didn't he invent something for them that could like help them? I don't know if it helped them like teleport or something.
The communicators, which is also in the last episode.
Was it? Oh,
yeah.
I'm remembering this episode very vividly. He invented like something that even Alpha couldn't come up with or something.
Yeah,
like, Alpha was like super impressed.
He also invented the rad bug, which we'll get to later. It's like their flying car.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
the dude's he's a genius.
He's a genius. He's a prodigy. Why is he still in high school?
Well, then looking back, he's kind of like the Donatello of this group.
That's exactly who he is. The Donatello of the group. So they're asking, Kimberly and Trini are asking for help.
Yep.
The other 3 Rangers kind of shoot it down. They go on their own. One thing I do love is the ominous music that played when they get to the dump site. It's very creepy and scary, almost like a horror movie. You know what I mean? So it had that vibe to it, which I thought was great composing wise. And then something else you didn't realize was Rita Repulsa.
Yeah. So I noticed this when I was watching the show. Every time they do shots of Rita Repulsa, it's always kind of far. It's always wide shots. And when they do something close up, she's either going like, yeah, like something like that.
Like jazz hands?
Yeah, she's going, yeah, we're going to get the Rangers. But every time she speaks, if you look closely enough, like her audio does not sync up with her mouth at all.
Right. So you asked me off screen, you're like, it's weird. I noticed that like her audio doesn't sync up with her mouth. And I was like, well, this is taking part of the Japanese stuff. You're like, really? And I was like, yeah. But you know what? As a kid, those are things you don't notice.
Oh, no, not at all.
Because I'm not sure if you were aware, but I mean, you know that a lot of this stock footage was taken from Japan. Now
I know, yeah.
But as a kid, it's almost like seamless. It's weird how that works.
No, I mean, listen, as like a 7-year-old kid, you're not watching this being like, this is an interesting subplot that's going on right now. You're there for the action, and you're there to watch these superheroes whoop ass. But looking at it as an adult, you're seeing like these different things, and credit to Saban? Yeah, credit to them, because they're able to put together pieces from totally different parts of the world, blend it together into one show, and it works perfectly. Like unless you're looking at it really closely, it's not glaring. It's just, oh wow, their audio might be off, but it's nothing terrible.
Which is kind of crazy if you think about it, because they shot a ton of episodes within a week. But now you can see how, because they're only shooting half of the episode almost.
Yeah, it makes sense. So the actual Ranger action, is that also Japanese?
Partially, but yes, currently right now, yes, the actual in-suit stuff
Yeah.
is all Japanese
Really?
right now.
Wow.
I mean, there gets to a point though where we shot, because I think in Japan the season for each season lasts 50 episodes.
Wow.
But in our first, just alone in our first season of Power Rangers, just season 1 for us was 61.
Jeez.
But then it went on 2 more seasons with those same
Okay.
suits. So do you remember the White Ranger?
Yes.
That
Yeah,
was
the
actually
sword.
taken from a different season in Japan.
Really?
Yeah, a different season altogether called Dai Ranger, because this is called Jew Ranger in Japan.
Okay.
And there was Dai Ranger was one that followed it up. They had all different suits, all the Rangers, but they only took the White Ranger and put him in with our Mighty Morphin Rangers.
Wow. Is there a reason why? Like.
Because they needed a new Ranger, because there was no more footage of the Green Ranger.
Yeah. Oh,
So
okay,
they
that makes
needed,
sense.
and Jason David Frank's character was so popular that
Yeah.
Tommy, because originally another actor was cast to play the White Ranger,
Mm-hmm.
and then Tommy was so popular that they brought him back in the role, and yeah, that's why they used the Dai Ranger footage.
That makes sense.
But it's kind of crazy that they merged those two worlds together.
Oh no, absolutely. I mean, and it's like you said, you're doing half the work in the production. I mean, that's why they can do 60 episodes. I mean,
But as time went on, though, they had to use more of American stunt footage with the suits because they didn't have they had recycled enough of
Right.
the old stuff. They also all the Zords that you had seen past the Mighty Morphin Megazord.
yeah.
All the past Zords after that were from different seasons.
So like completely different seasons from Japan. Like,
Yeah.
Wow, you learn something new every day. It's amazing that again, you're blending things from how many seasons ahead was Japan?
I believe only one.
Really? Wow. Okay.
But eventually it became, because we didn't use Dai Ranger and the Alien Rangers that we used here were such a short spurt, but that was a whole season there.
Right.
But we just used a lot of their Zords.
Okay.
Just to keep the Mighty Morphin thing. So when we get to the season called Zeo, it's very much like they had to change at that point because we had exhausted the Mighty Morphin aesthetic and look.
Right.
That they needed something new for the 4th season, which
So
was Zeo.
I wonder why. I mean, I guess it's easier to have stock footage of the Zords and stuff, but isn't it as simple as they're just models, right? I mean,
Well, no, they're not. They're actually suit actors.
Really?
Yeah.
The Megazords?
The Megazords are suit actors, yeah. So
No way.
yeah, for sure.
What?
This baffles my mind too sometimes because you would think that they're just models moving around.
Yeah, they look like
finished.
giant remote control cars.
So they're actually what happens is just like in Power Rangers, they put on those suits. They just made a miniaturized city, and then
Right, the model city.
Yes, and then they put on those like Megazord suits.
Yeah.
And with the normal size monster, and used them to fight.
Wow. Wow, really?
Yeah.
That's wow. It just seems so weird because it just looks like models.
I would always think the
Like-
same thing. It's the tokusatsu is what it's called in Japan. The tokusatsu is with the giant monster
Right.
rubber suits, and it's suit actors.
Yeah. Okay. So I totally would understand that when all the Megazords come together and it's one giant Megazord, that I could understand being a model because they're walking around and stuff. I'm talking about like individual shots of when they're
Those
rolling
are
up.
not suit actors.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
they're
Like
not suit
because when the
actors.
T-Rex is coming out of the lava, I'm like, that's a model.
Yeah,
Like,
no, that's.
I mean,
those
that's
are
an
definitely like
actor?
models.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
But that's the charm of the show, and it's so funny. Like looking at that now, how much trick photography is used and practical effects.
Yeah.
Something I'm a big fan of because now a lot like when you get towards later scenes or later series of Power Rangers, a lot of that stuff loses its charm because it becomes digital,
Right.
and it's like, oh, you can tell. It's kind of like Star Wars Episode 1.
Yeah.
Where it's like,
you
all
get
right,
too
this is-
happy with the CGI.
yeah, it's clearly
yeah,
CG.
Yeah. One thing I was really impressed with, and I guess this is because it's the Japanese actors in the suits. It's not actually like Jason and Kimberly. Like they're not the ones in the suits. The choreography, the fighting choreography, and the stunt choreography when they're in the suits is really impressive for a show of this. Obviously it's not like a cheap show, but like a show of this magnitude. The stuff that they were doing when they were fighting the putties, yeah. When they were fighting them, there was legitimate, fighting action going on. Like not like quick shots where you're just like, haha, like a quick fist.
That's athleticism, and also even when they're outside of the suits, even when we see Zach teaching Alpha how to dance, he does that backflip.
Yeah.
These 5 kids are athletic.
Oh no, totally. There was one point in this. I think it was this episode, or maybe I'm remembering something else. But I remember Jason lifted I think it was Zach, and then Kimberly was on the other side, and he's just twirling them.
That's in the last episode.
Was it?
Yeah.
All right, so I think I watched this episode pretty recently, if I'm remembering this too clearly. But I remember, like, Kimberly was just...
We actually made, it was called the human chain.
Was that it?
We made
Yeah.
a huge thing about this on the last episode.
Yeah, because, like, she's got her legs straight up, and, like, that's a lot of core strength to just have your legs sitting, and she's just twirling like nothing. And Zach is, like, planking in the air.
Yeah.
Like, it's really impressive what they're capable of doing.
And then Jason's like holding him and twirling. Like,
Oh, yeah, totally.
Holding both their body
And
weight.
he's got guns, yo. Like, Jason's...
And that he was the youngest actor on the show.
Was he?
Yeah, and
Wow.
the leader, he was the youngest actor. I believe he was 17 or 18 years old at
Really?
the time. Yeah.
Wow, I thought they were all in their 20s.
No, he was young. He was the kid. I think Billy was the oldest.
That makes sense. He does look the
24.
oldest.
But yeah, man, it's crazy. Like going back and looking at this, how affectionate I was for these characters, and
Yeah,
how rich
yeah.
they start developing them. This episode really focuses around Kimberly and Trini, and now
Yeah.
you know that they care so much about saving the world. Rita makes this monster. I don't recall the name of the monster at the time.
No, I don't remember either.
But it's Rita makes this monster.
Oh, it's the
obviously.
Minotaur.
The Minotaur.
The Minotaur.
How
The
could we
Menacing
forget?
Minotaur.
The menacing. I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
make a joke
That's-
about it as we're
yeah.
watching. The Menacing Minotaur. Which actually was one of the action figures when I was a kid. I remember the Menacing Minotaur. She sends the Menacing Minotaur down to disrupt things
In Angel Grove.
in Angel Grove, and our mighty Power Rangers can't defeat the monster at first, and then it
Yeah,
grows.
yeah, and so then they sell you the new toys.
Yeah, so they jump in the
Where-
Megazord. They jump in the Megazord. That doesn't work.
Yeah, totally ineffective, which was crazy. Like, all the giant Megazords have no effect on the Menacing Minotaur at all.
Yeah, and then we go back to the command center, and Zordon has power weapons. Now, this is our first time
Yeah.
we get the power blade, the power axe,
Yep,
the
the
power
bow,
bow,
yeah.
the power staff, and the power size.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And you're right. This is definitely like,
Oh,
hey,
it's a gross toy commercial.
we want to sell you toys. We wanna sell you all
Absolutely,
these powers.
but you know what? Like, they look really cool.
They do look
because
really cool.
it not only is the concept like these are weapons like historic weapons, like, you know, an axe, a sword, a bow, and an arrow. But they all come together, and the other end is like a laser cannon, which is a brilliant concept. It's like, let's take these old archaic weapons, and then you flip them upside down. They've got like lasers.
The one I liked the best was the axe, because it was an
Yeah.
axe and a gun.
No, totally. Yeah, when
And
it
now-
flipped over, I was like, whoa, it's
Yeah.
gonna be like a shotgun or something.
Right. I thought that was so
Yeah,
cool.
it definitely.
But yeah, we get the power weapons. But you made a great point. Why did the Minotaur shrink down to normal size?
Yeah,
again?
yeah. So like they leave. He's giant. He should be like destroying stuff Godzilla style. Zordon gives them their new weapons. They show up. He's tiny again, and
Yeah.
they just whoop his ass with the new weapons. I'm like, wait, why shouldn't he be giant? Like, why does it reverse?
Exactly. Why? But it's great that we got this. What was your favorite part of the whole action sequence of the Menacing Minotaur?
Okay, well, it was when all the weapons combined. Because each of them is like power axe, power sword, like they all combine, and then they all have a hand in it. And it's like if you didn't get it, the whole episode's about teamwork.
Right.
So like the only way to beat him is through teamwork, and it's understands like teamwork through the weapons, teamwork through the fighting, teamwork everything, and then just a giant laser beam that just destroys the Menacing Minotaur, and that was the most coolest part, just because special effects were clearly still in the early stages.
Yeah.
But it still looked really cool.
It did. And as a kid, you're just so stunned. and blown
Oh
away.
yeah, absolutely.
But as an adult, man, I've really come to appreciate kind of like the cheesy tropes of Power Rangers.
Oh, totally,
Because
totally.
it's its own kind of genre now.
Yeah, I mean, it's like this show can have the same effects for people with like the old Star Trek or the Batman 66
Which we were
series.
watching last night.
Yeah, exactly.
We're watching a lot of old Star Trek last
Yeah,
night.
yeah, and like you watch that show and like super colorful sets and everyone's really cheesy. Kirk had that giant V-neck,
The green V-neck
the
with
giant
just down
lime
his
green
navel
V-neck.
line.
Yeah, but like this is our like Batman 66, our Star Trek 60s. Like
That's a great point.
It is. It's like it's super cheesy, super colorful, fun. You know, giant sets with models and stuff. But it's like heartwarming because it's so much fun. And you have these 5 kids who just come together to save the world.
Yeah, and you're right. Like it's a part of pop culture.
Oh, absolutely.
Power Rangers was a solidified hit, and now to the point where 25 years later, almost they're making a feature film about it again.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's still going on. And I think besides Sesame Street, it's the longest running kid show in history.
Is it?
Yeah, 25 years, 25.
I mean,
consecutive years.
yeah, I didn't even know. I didn't realize it was that long. But yeah, you're absolutely right. And honestly, when I was younger, I thought that Power Rangers, like growing up, when I stopped eventually watching, I figured, oh, Power Rangers, like that's kid stuff. That's not cool. But then, as an adult, you see guys like JDF who are just like, yeah, I was the Green Ranger. I'm the White Ranger. That's who I am. Like, he still embraces it. Like, he's involved with every Power Ranger thing out there. Like, he wants to be a part of it. So it's like all these people are immensely proud of their work and they embrace it all. And it makes total sense because as you get older, it's like, wow, this is... It transcends to just geeky fandom. Like, this is a classic. Like,
it's a classic.
It's totally
exactly.
a television classic in every sense of the word.
Totally true. I mean, there's definitely things that we can watch as adults. Pacific Rim's a great example. Yeah. You can watch Pacific Rim and be like, oh, that's so Power Rangers.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And
that's the whole time I watched that show, I was like, this is Power Rangers, this is Gundam Wing, this is Voltron. It's every anime, like every Japanese show I watched as a kid. Yeah.
I think, but that's brilliant. I'm happy that you see it this way too.
Absolutely.
That's why we have such a strong fan base, which I love these guys because they keep us going. Power Rangers is, like you said, it transcends through.
Oh, totally. And like I said, when we're, in our 50s and 60s, and these shows are out, like, I'm assuming there'll be something past Blu-ray then, but like when these shows come out on whatever 3D visuals we're watching, it's going to be like, this has its staple in pop culture history. This, again, the same way Star Trek had its staple, Batman 66 had its staple, Green Hornet, all those shows, like, are staples in television history, and Power Rangers is no different. It's like you said, 25 straight years, like, that's a testament of itself.
Right, and I think the cool part about this episode, which you touched on a lot, was the teamwork aspect of it. It was teaching you a lesson and giving you kind of like a narrative to follow along the way.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Now, the show does get more complicated, which I love too, in terms of like we get multi-part story arcs with like the Green Ranger saga. Which we got coming on later on. But that's when I love it. I love the lore of Power Rangers and the kind of like the history. To the point where the Boom Studios comic book is retelling these stories in a new way with the same characters, Jason, Billy, Zach, Trina, Kimberly, just like this 2017 movie is. So it's all paying respects to that.
Is the 2017 movie, they're using the same characters?
Yeah,
Jason, Billy? Okay.
Yeah, they're changing the races up a little bit, which is cool.
Okay.
Like Ludi Lin, the Asian guy's playing Zach, the Black Ranger.
Okay, nice.
They're changing a little things, like a few things up.
Wasn't there an Asian Black Ranger before though?
There was Adam, the second Black Ranger.
Yeah, that's right. I remember he was in the ninja suit, right?
He was in
the
ninja.
frog, I think.
He was the frog.
Yeah, the frog. Yeah. See, it's coming back.
It is coming back. Slowly but surely, it's coming back. All right, something we do here at the Retro Wrap-Up is we always give our favorite moment of the episode. Or we rank the episode and think of our favorite moment. So if you had to choose 1 through 5, what do you give this episode?
It's a 4.5.
4.5.
It's a 4.5 just because of not only do you get the Megazord action, which is like you said, the trope of Power Rangers, but you get new weapons.
I'm gonna also go 4, mainly because I'm not a huge Megazord fan, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I know it's strange.
Isn't that
right?
what Power Rangers is all about? Like,
I do like the early incarnations of the Megazord fights because they always end differently. But as you see throughout later seasons, it's always like, okay, now we go to the Megazord, now we win.
very formulaic.
Yeah, Whereas in the early parts of Power Rangers right now, they don't always win with the Megazord, and this is a great example.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go 4. Now, what was your favorite part of this episode?
So watching this episode, I mentioned earlier the lasers, but rethinking about it now, and this is probably in every episode, but because I haven't watched the show in a long time, as soon as I see the T-Rex rising out of the lava and the pterodactyl flying out of the volcano, I'm like, you got me. Like, this is awesome. I think it's a saber-toothed tiger is the Trini, and it's running like through the jungle. The mastodons in the ice.
I love the way the saber-toothed tiger looks too.
Yeah.
It reminds me of Voltron, the saber-toothed tiger.
Oh no, absolutely.
Right out of Voltron.
Yeah, it looks just like it.
My favorite part of this episode is Zach teaching Alpha how to dance.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I dig it. I dig
awesome.
humanizing, and he's like doing all these dance moves, and he's like, I gotta.
Yeah. And you know what's funny about the whole Alpha and Ranger aspect is like the Rangers are saving humanity by becoming robots, and then this robot is trying to become more human with the Rangers. Like, it's an interesting like dynamic of
dropping Power Ranger knowledge.
Yeah,
I mean, it's first episode.
I mean, it's like you got to think like that, like Shakespearean aspect where like you become more human by being a robot. The robot becomes more human by like acting human. Like, it's just that weird reversal of roles kind of.
Very cool, very cool. Now, something that we haven't done in a while, which a lot of you guys want, are questions and comments. We have a few episodes to get through, but we're gonna save a little time and do some of these. So I'm gonna start off the first page. You can do the second page. We'll start here with Here Comes Hexmas.
Yeah, man.
Which
absolutely.
was DJ was on that with Steven Zarita from Overdrive Picks. Shout out to Steven. Check out his channel, Overdrive Picks, on YouTube. Anthony Davis 65. LOL. It's not 12 guys. It's 9. Kyuyu means 9 in Japanese, hence why they call it Kyuryuger, 9 Ranger. I didn't know that. Thank you for dropping that knowledge. They must have made a reference to that. Edward Sanchez production, hashtag Edward Sanchez approved. Another great Ranger wrap-up. DJ, I got a theory on the coal turning the Ranger into evil elves. I think the Hexmas probably did something to the coal, so the Rangers can be turned into evil elves, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Great theory. I think that's true. It's making you want to watch the episode.
It's like, reading is just like, this makes no sense, but then totally, I want to watch it now.
Noah Dion, hi again. Stupid question. How do you guys even watch Super Sentai? I'm desperate. Help me. Actually, I just started watching Super Sentai all over again. I use, it's Kiss Japan. I think it's called Kiss. Oh, man, it's a website called Kiss. Kiss what? Drama. Kiss Drama? Yeah, it's called kissdrama.com. Or I think it's. Actually, I'm going to pull it up for you.
You said Kiss Japan. I was like, Kiss Japan.
Oh, I swear, it's something close to that, though. Oh, kissasian.com. I know that sounds really weird.
Well, are we sure this is a TV show?
I'm positive it's called kissasian.com. All the Sentai is there. I was watching Kyuryuger episode like 25 on it, like just like last night. Blackwing 2040. Dang it, my comment last time. Total bummer. Anyway, in this episode, felt like Christmas episode, and it made me feel the Christmas spirit. After seeing the Ninja Steel trailer, it got me super hyped. I am ready for this. Also, can't wait to read Justice League versus Power Rangers. That's a crossover in the comic.
Dude, I would totally want to read that.
You're going to be one of our new comic guys, so you probably will read that. That comic coming out, definitely buying it in trade paperback because it combines my favorite superhero teams with Power Rangers, and that's something I would have never imagined. Now, that's literally like taking your toys and mashing them.
Oh, no, absolutely. Like, that's exactly what I just thought of. Like,
Yeah.
when I was a kid, my toy chest, I had Justice League. I had all my Batman, Superman toys, and then I had all my Power Rangers, like, and Big Bad Beetleborgs. All those guys crossed over in my
and
production.
the big epic production.
Oh, yeah.
Hyperdrive Picks, Steven Zarita. Love hosting these. Totally forgot to say. Did anyone else think the coal was going to be some kind of alternate kind of Dino Charge based on how they infused it with Energem? That's actually a great theory. I didn't think about that. Power Rangers fan, what's everybody's most favorite or least favorite Power Rangers holiday special? Honestly, for me, my favorite would be the Robo Night Before Christmas from Megaforce, and my least favorite is obviously A Season to Remember in Zeo. I still disapprove the forced Catherine-Tommy relationship. Hashtag Timberly approved. Oh, wow, that's crazy. It did seem a little forced now that you say that. There was a demo for the Overdrive theme song, and Jungle Fury had one and 2 demos. I didn't know that, actually. But for one, I love the ones we have in the final production. Mystic Force theme song, while not that great compared to Ron Wasserman's rock demo, I still think it's pretty dang catchy. I do too. Every time I watch Power Ranger Mystic Force, it had this theme song that was just so different. But I was into it. I kind of dug it.
Is it better than the Buckethead guitar riff?
I don't know
from
if
Mighty
anything
Morphin?
can compare to that.
Because that's like...
But Zeo, I think I like the Zeo theme song because it keeps that, but it also has more to it, and it was a little bit of a harder rock thing. But that's just me. The MMPR Lost Galaxy was the most favorite Power Ranger theme song. I'm sorry. Other than MMPR Lost Galaxy, my most favorite Power Rangers theme song is definitely Wild Force. I absolutely love it. Mikey Perez, great wrap up. I would love Zooyuger or Kyuryuger to be adapted as a space and animal planet themes in Power Rangers. They need to do some more of these Planet Rangers seasons. I think Zuru-Oger, maybe. I'm terrible at pronouncing these. DJ's usually the guy that pronounces this stuff. Would be perfect for the 2019 season. The problem of adapting Kyuryuger is there's too many Rangers to develop, even in Dino Charge, that didn't give a backstory to certain characters. Why people hate the Disney era, I thought it had some of the best seasons. Keep up the good work. I agree.
Wait, Disney owns?
So Saban, at a point, sold Power Rangers to Disney.
Really?
Yeah, and this was Disney's test run to see how well a boys market would do because they had the Disney princesses.
Right, that makes sense.
And it did well, but then Saban bought it back, and then Disney acquired Marvel.
Well, okay. Well, I guess if you're gonna replace one boy thing, you go to superheroes. Wow, I had no idea that happened.
You're up.
All right, so Derek Harvey, jamming video, guys. Well, thank you, I appreciate that. Excuse all my run-on sentences for my comment last time. Plus, sometimes I miss how eccentrically phonetic my wording can be. Wow, you like some big words. By the way, what's up with now the Ranger franchise beefing back up with the unique Monster of the Week names? Because since Dino Charge's end, and not thinking they were going to use any more of the monsters from the original Kyuryuger? Is that how you say that?
Kyuryuger.
Kyuryuger. Sorry, my Japanese is very weak. Since lastly using Yanasanta, now Heximus, quite impressed, and can't wait to see what more creative names will come next with the Ninja Steel's monsters.
Yeah, the names have been on point for Power Rangers Dino Charge.
Have they?
Oh, they're so great.
Like what? Give me an example, just one.
Hookbeard.
Okay,
I was really into that.
That's pretty awesome. Question for Joe and DJ. Perfect, Joe's here. If moving forward, Kyuryuger Ranger 2017 Sentai is adapted down the rabbit hole of a possible following season after Ninja Steel, what do you think about a cast being more diverse coming after in comparison with Dino Charge, Kyuryuger, since a starting lineup for 9 Rangers will be established? You want to just tackle that part? Or you want me to keep
I'll
going?
tackle that part. So the question pretty much is how is it going to be? How is the diversity going to be in comparison? I don't know. Power Rangers in the TV form, I think, has some of the most diverse casting now. For a great example is that this new season of Ninja Steel, all the actors first all the actors none of them were white actually when they were
Really?
first cast. Yeah.
Wow.
Now we have a new Yellow Ranger who looks white, but he's actually Colombian. But we have a Brazilian girl, half black, half white girl. We have an Asian guy. We have
Nice.
The lead is going to be he's like an Indian guy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, or half Indian, half white. And now the new Yellow Ranger is Colombian, half Colombian, half white. So
I'm curious, the Colombian guy that you said he's really pale and he looks white, is his character name like a Colombian name? Like,
no, actually, I can't remember his character's name off the top of my head.
because that's an interesting thing. Because I know sometimes actors, if they look white, they'll play a white person, even though they're not technically. But I don't know what white means anymore.
Right.
It's such a strange concept. But anyway, I digress.
Yeah, I can't remember the names of. I remember Peter Sidarso's character is Preston. That's the Asian guy. I can't remember his name. Man, we'll get to it.
Beats me. All right, so second question. If you had to initially choose a favorite Ranger based on color or constellation with Cutie Ranger, who would it be? Thanks for reading and responding back, and blessings / happy holidays. Well,
Okay.
Happy holidays to you as well.
I can't answer this. So, off of the initial look of the season, there's 9 Rangers, all of different. It's based on constellations.
That's kind of badass.
Yeah, I do like that. Personally, aesthetically, I think the Silver Ranger looks the best. But taking a closer look at the Red Ranger, I'm really into his suit. I just showed you that. His helmet kind of has that Thundercats kind of thing going on. But if I was basing this on my constellation, I'm a Gemini.
Oh, me too.
Are you really? When's your birthday?
May 25th.
I'm June 5th.
Well,
We're close.
Yeah,
Jasmine's May 21st, I think.
oh, really?
Like, we're 3 Geminis.
Wow.
That's insane. But I think it would be cool. I want to see if they have like a Gemini Ranger, like split into a twin, or
Oh, that would be
that would be
cool.
cool. Like one, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
how cool would
yeah.
that be? But that's what I would like to see. Thank you for your question, Derek Hervey. And thank you for your support. You're awesome, by the way. I love this
You
guy.
are. We haven't met yet, but I love you.
And you're gonna watch his videos too. So Derek Hervey's amazing. He's an amazing dude.
Oh, he sounds amazing. And happy holidays, Derek.
Yes.
So this is from Hersey Japan Boy, or Hersey? I don't know how to pronounce it. Hidezi Japan Boy. Just a thought. Do you guys think that the idea of time travel in Dino Supercharge came from Yoshi? If I'm not wrong, I think he did mention in a con where he said Time Force was his favorite, and that includes Brennan as well. Or is it just a coincidence?
Okay, funny story. I can kind of answer this one too.
You got it.
I don't think the idea of time travel came from Yoshi. But, so, they shoot Power Rangers now in New Zealand.
Okay.
And I don't think Yoshi would be too mad about me telling the story, but he did tell us off the record, was that they all lived in a house together.
The Rangers?
The Rangers all live in a house together.
That's cool.
In New Zealand. The only ones that would stay home and watch Power Rangers, Time Force mainly, was Yoshi and Brennan, and it was their favorite season.
That's awesome.
And the others would go out and do their thing. But then they all kind of got into Time Force. So I know that for a lot of the Dino Charge Rangers, their favorite season is Time Force. I don't think the idea came about time travel because of that, but I do think it's kind of coincidental. And Time Force is a really good season. One of our producer JD behind the camera, his favorite season is Time Force actually too.
Dude, I like the idea of all the Rangers. I want to watch a documentary based
Time
on the
Force
Rangers.
is cool because I think you would dig it because like that's in the first episode the Red Ranger like dies.
Oh, what? Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's intense.
It is intense. It got a lot darker as time went on.
I like that. I totally watch it. All right, so next up, Orange Ranger videos. Here comes Heximus.
Orange Ranger videos has some awesome Power Ranger videos too. Go
Does he?
check them out. Yeah.
Check them out. Or her, depending on
Him.
him. We see Heximus in the factory enchanting the coal, which is how it makes people into evil elves. But nothing says it didn't make bad kids into good elves before that. Heximus tells the Rangers that he's been working on his plan for 65 million years, building his sleigh and growing Vivix. By the way, in the very last episode of the show, that was the first reference to where the Vivix came from.
You know, I love this guy's stuff. Orange Ranger videos, you have an open invitation to join us on one of these wrap-ups.
You could probably do a better job than me, my friend. That's for sure.
Oh, you're doing pretty good. You're holding your own for being a rookie.
Yeah.
This is actually your first hashtag video even before your own segments.
Yeah, totally. This is the first time in front of the camera, so hopefully the comments can be nice. All right, so finishing off his comments, I had major issues with the time travel problems in this episode. Zenowing should have never built the Zords. Zenowing should have never built the Zords, and Kendall had no reason to develop Dino Charger technology, because the Rangers never found the Energems in the first place. I don't really buy the protected in time stream thing. Yes, the Petra and
Plesio
Zords came back with them, but they should have been erased when they got back. Again, they were never built. Between the fact that it was a boring holiday clip show and that the time travel errors drove me crazy, I couldn't even give this one 0.0 out of 5.
Woo!
That's harsh review
That's
there.
harsh. I will say that this wasn't my favorite holiday special. I think even last season's holiday special was better. This was definitely like very clip show-ish.
I'm really happy that Power Rangers has holiday episodes.
They do.
I had no idea.
Halloween episodes and Christmas episodes.
Really?
Yeah,
that's awesome. I really want to watch that. Okay, so thank you again for more kind words. I really do admire this channel and this show and the work you guys are doing. Thank you very much. And sorry again for another overlong comment wordiness. At least this stayed more brief. Onward to Ninja Steel. May the power protect you. P.S. Not sure if Steven will be guest hosting again or just watching, but nice job co-hosting, and your channel looks awesome too.
Shout out to Steven and Hyperdrive Picks. Super unknown person says, great video, guys.
Great name.
It's a great name. That's to DJ and Steven. They did do a great job. Damn quality. It will be very cool to have Rangers from other planets with the series focusing on these planets. It is like Earth. It's just lucky that PR is barely misses getting blasted away from the moon. I'm sorry, not moon. Blasted away most of the times. While other planets luck goes from getting conquered to downright destroyed. Taking that known part of the series that this could create continuity between seasons, let's say that the new space team loses the following team, has to take up mantle, and then has to set things right. Harking back to the first season in which the Rangers were defeated by the villains, victory was closing near. I say this because I just read a forum and a fan post that said that they could be trying to go back to basics, dinosaurs, ninjas, and probably space. Great theory.
This damn quality question. I have one thing. So Power Rangers, he mentions planets. Do they go to like different worlds?
Yeah, man. There's a whole season in space called Power Rangers in Space. Actually, one of the best seasons.
Are you kidding me?
Dead serious. It's such a good season that it almost ends the Zordon era.
Really?
Yeah, and there's planets introduced like KO-35. There's aliens from Aquitar. There's a planet called Triforia.
What?
Yeah, there's a ton. There's space rangers that have been from other planets.
It's blowing my mind just because I have always remembered there were two places, Earth and the moon, where Rita Repulsa was. I had no idea that we had an extended universe beyond the stars.
Yeah, Power Rangers Extended Universe. You get to see other Rangers from other planets. And in Countdown to Destruction, that space season, you almost see the different worlds on all of them being conquered by almost like this galactic empire.
Are they all human? Like, are they alien
Those
rangers?
alien rangers, yes.
Are you serious?
That Xenowing guy that you had just mentioned in your previous comment is actually a giant bird, and he morphs and becomes a humanoid ranger. There's also, in space, they have this, which is one of the dopest rangers of all time, called the Shadow Ranger, who's a giant dog.
First off, that's probably the most badass name they could ever come
Shadow
up with.
Ranger,
The Shadow Ranger.
His name is Doggy Kruger, and he's like the commander of this space patrol, and he morphs into like a dog, and he's like their leader.
Okay, so I'm kind of sold on it because this now sounds like
great.
Star Wars. Like, this
It is
amazing.
almost. It's a huge expanded universe. You should check it out. Andrew Suarez. Happy that this holiday special was the first of the Neil Saban seasons to have continuity on what could have been, was instead of having the past scenes as clip shows, they could have been Kendall and Keeper's origins or as a clip show. That's actually a great point. So in this season, we never got two of the characters like origins. We got everybody else's. This would have been a great usage of that. I wish instead the Zord battle we got to use Sentai footage where they just used the Zords and helped give a Christmas spirit, and really thought that they would have used the mistletoe.
He literally spelled missile and toe.
Very phonetically for Tyler and Shelby in the end. That would have been great too. That would have been a great usage. Abigail Parker, shout out to you. Abigail Parker is one of our great followers, listeners. Fans. She's awesome. Friend even. She's a friend. Like we've had chats. She's pretty awesome.
You're amazing, Abigail.
Great Ranger wrap up. You just saved my day, and finally I had time to check out Hyperdrive Picks. Amazing channel. Gonna watch a lot from your stuff tonight. Christmas episode was great. It's kind of cool that it took place after the finale. Of course, it had good and bad parts. I was hoping for a Shyler kiss. That's
Man, we want a lot
Tyler
of romance
and Shelby kiss. for the question where Hexmas has been, I think he said he needed 65 million years to come up with a plan, which shows that he is a slow thinker. But my question is, why did only he survive? Great question. I mean, Sledge had a lot of pots and rescue ships. I don't know how to call them. Why did no one else ever escape? Also, they could have added a Kendall Keeper backstory, which obviously Andrew wanted to, by turning Kendall into a evil elf. This is very true. Or like Edward Sanchez, I think Hexmas did something to the Cole to turn everybody into evil elves. This is also true. This Cole thing, you're really into this Cole thing.
Yeah, this is amazing.
Craig
Especially
Anderson,
elves.
even though I'm excited about Ninja Steel, I have to say, I have to still hate the fact that Saban keeps skipping over Go Buster and Tokuger. Both, I agree. I think like we said in the Japanese series, on our American side, we skipped 2 of the seasons.
Really?
Yeah, we haven't touched them. And one of us called Go Buster, and the other one's called Tokuger. Go Buster is more of like this futuristic police force kind of thing.
That's cool.
Right? And Tokuger is more of like, it's about trains. Their Zords are all trains.
Oh,
Which is kind of cool.
that's interesting.
I really wanted to see how they would be adapted, but someone skipped over it because of toys. Seriously? It's 2016, not 1993. Kids aren't even playing with toys anymore. In my opinion, Saban should start making Power Ranger video games. Kind of true, though. Video games are behind.
You know, honestly, back in the 90s, there was the Power Rangers movie video game for the Sega Genesis.
I remember that.
And I played the shit out of that game
too.
because it was probably one of the best beat-em-ups I ever played because you're the Rangers.
Do you remember the Power Ranger fighting game? Like, you would get to choose, like, a different Ranger, and you can choose, like different villains. It was almost like Street Fighter. It was like Power Ranger Street Fighter game.
Really? I never played that one. I only
that's
remember
really
the
awesome.
movie game Genesis because of Ooze.
I remember
Ivan
that,
Ooze.
too. I love that.
That one was awesome. Okay, so the last comment we've got is from
Well, last comment on this round.
on this round. Sorry, guys. This comes from Will Smizer. I'm assuming that's how you say his name. Tommy and Kim exchange I love yous and kiss too, then immediately asked her to the dance, and she was like, I don't know. JK, just didn't want to be too easy,
I remember
LOL.
that.
Dragonzord is still chilling underwater somewhere all these years, right? Maybe.
To be addressed in, I don't know if the I love you part happens, but
I didn't realize there's so much romance in Power
there's
Rangers.
a lot of shipping. There's a lot of shipping
Got
going on.
mistletoes, and people want everyone to kiss, and
It all happens. It all happens.
Yeah.
Now we're going to go on to Day of the Dumpster, which is our first episode of the Retro Reviews. We're going to start. Go ahead.
just quick question. Day of the Dumpster. I'm getting memories again of a like vegetable monster.
No. No.
That's not this one?
No.
Okay. Or what about like a giant pig?
That comes later.
That comes
Pig, or Pudgy Pig, yeah.
Is that okay? Never mind. I remember that VHS tape.
I do too,
The
actually.
pig, yeah.
The pig, yeah. That's very classic. The pig on
Yeah,
the
yeah.
VHS tape. Day of the Dumpster, Prime Time. I love that name, by the way. Where did you get that Ernie Juice Bar shirt, bro? Awesome. That was to DJ. He got it at Redbubble.com. He was wearing the Ernie Juice Bar shirt. Look it up. You could get you one for yourself. Edward Sanchez. Hashtag Edward Sanchez approved. I agree with Joe. This episode sets up the Power Rangers we all know and love, and it absolutely does. This is the first episode of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Cyrell Moore, Tommy was the real leader. I don't kind of disagree. DJ will disagree. He thinks Jason's the real leader. I can see that. Jason had the heroic voice, the leader voice.
Oh, no, he totally did.
And I do think Tommy being put in as leader was kind of like, it was a weird, because Jason was still there, and I know that was done in post-production.
Yeah.
Because Jason was leaving. But, yeah, I agree. Tommy was the most tenured leader for sure. He ended
Totally.
From season 2 all the way to season, I think, 6, he was a leader.
Wow, that's a long time.
It was a long time, long tenure. Blackwing 2040. As a kid, I always wanted to be a Power Ranger, mainly green because it's my favorite color. Plus, like DJ said, you get to actually feel like a superhero with all the cool weapons and vehicles and all the kind in vehicles in Zords. But I kind of agree with Joe a little bit because with great power comes great responsibility. It's pretty awesome that you have Kelly a part of the WrapUp crew. She's very pretty. Kelly is cute, I guess. She is cute.
I hope I get pretty comments.
Yeah, right? Now, this is a list that they did for their favorite moments of the show. Number 5, I'm going to go backwards. Number 5, Rita being free. Number 4, the Juice Bar. Number 1, the fights. Number 2, the Megazord battle. And number 1, the first ever morph. I agree. So my whole part of that was that I said that if I was actually a Power Ranger and being like a 14-year-old kid, like a freshman in high school, I'm not necessarily sure I'd be up to the task because you got homework. I had sports going on.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on.
It's the Spider-Man aspect of it.
Yeah, and then Zordon wants you to fight not using your powers first. I could get really hurt.
Total. Okay, so I remember an episode, I don't remember which one, but I remember they were fighting the putties, and they were like, we can't change because Zordon said we can. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
you could die.
You could die, exactly.
Why won't you change?
His Zordon must have really good health insurance because if you broke your arm, what are you going to do? Thomas Rowan, I wonder who's next for Morphin Monday. I wonder who's next. Oh, we put out a Morphin Monday. It was obviously, no, it wasn't you. It was Kareem Prince was our last, the Blue Aquitar Ranger. Derek Hervey, great review. Glad we had another amigo, or should I say amiga, to review the review discussion group. Day of the Dumpster, absolutely iconic and always an amazing. Get me back into watching now that I'm an adult, especially since at the time Power Rangers began airing. I was still a baby. Top 3 nostalgic moments of the beginning of MMPR. Number 3, the fashion of the show during the time.
90s,
absolutely.
baby.
90s, baby. 90s. 2, on more fight scenes. The best. I really wish we had more today. Mainly those fight scenes were so cool because the actors, they weren't using stunt doubles, really. Those actors were so capable of doing their own fights that they just had them do them.
Yeah.
Which is if you're actually an actor, it's a great way to learn stunts because you got that training.
Oh, absolutely.
Number 1, music score of the show, Ron Wasserman. Yes, and that's what got you kind of back into when you heard
Dude, that guitar riff, man.
Question for everyone present, which is you today, Javier. What are some of your hopes and expectations for some of the throwback styles to continue to be brought back or recognized in the future Power Ranger adaptations? For example, such as Ninja Steel. God bless you guys and happy holidays. So what are we looking for Ninja Steel? What would you want from the past that brings that sense of nostalgia back?
Okay, so in Ninja Steel, I'm assuming they have Megazords.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are they based on?
They're all different. One's a dragon, one's a humanoid kind of thing.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I was gonna say I like the idea of dinosaurs.
They just did dinosaurs.
Did they? Dino Charge? Okay, so I guess that's already taken. Do the helmets look like the actual animals that they have? Or
yes.
Okay, so that's pretty good.
And there were 11 Rangers.
Really?
Yeah,
wow, that's a lot.
That's a lot. We had silver, we had gold, we had.
Oh wow.
We had
diamond.
No, we didn't have. There's never been a diamond ranger.
Really?
Actually, Javier. Yeah. We did a purple. We had aqua. Oh. Then we had we had a ton.
Oh wow. Okay, so to bring back something that can bring back the nostalgia, if they don't have it, that guitar riff Do they have that? If they do, then
The,
awesome.
the theme songs have been improving because for a while they were just like the Mighty Morphin theme song.
Were they?
So now they're getting their own original, which a lot of people are liking, which I do too. I like the original theme songs.
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah.
for each season.
Absolutely. Well, geez, I'm fresh out then. I mean, what else can you do to make it? It seems like it's been pretty much the same. I mean, what else can change that hasn't been done? I mean, they've extended colors, so that's not going to bring back the old school. If they've done Dino Charge, so they've done dinosaurs already multiple times.
Now they're doing ninjas again, which is a big thing.
Yeah, the ninjas. I don't know, man. What else can you add?
Bringing back planets, bringing back continuity. Like I'd like to see them interact with all past Rangers.
Okay, yeah, that would be awesome. So like time traveling kind of thing.
Almost, or bringing in like present Rangers into this era.
That would be cool. Is Lord Zed or Rita Repulsa still a part of? Okay.
They got. See, if you watch Countdown to Destruction, there's a reason why they're not.
Oh, they're totally gone. There's no way they can come back.
They're kind of there. Lord Zed's kid exists in this universe.
Okay, so if there's a way that Lord Zed's kid can bring back Lord Zed from the dead or
He
from
might
another
got
dimension,
destroyed. Not sure.
either way, if you bring back, because if you have father son bad guy, that'd be pretty cool.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
So,
I like that.
mean,
Noah Fleming's more feminine. Audrey was hot, in my opinion. I love chicks with short hair. Welcome, Kelly. We'll be sure to send Kelly our love, or you can write it in this week's comments, and Kelly will get it when she's back. Back from her vacation.
Lucky her. I wish I could get one. This is from Robin
You
Chan.
just started.
Dude,
just
I
kidding.
need my vacation. DJ, love that hat and the Ernie's Juice Bar t-shirt. I'll let him know. Interesting plot right there about Zordon being Ernie to watch the kids at his business while serving them the food and drinks. That could be a possibility, even though I'm not quite sure about that. Because not is he watching the Rangers and managing his business, but he has to put up with either losing his possessions to Rita, Lord Zed's evil plots, like, for example, the pachinko machine. Pachinko. It sounds like it
is, the gambling machine.
Yeah, okay. I was going to say. The pachinko machine putting up with Bulk and Skull's story arcs, like bullying and the police control with Lieutenant Stone in the juice bar, asking questions about the Rangers, like who they are, or if you've met the Rangers, and all that other stuff at the same time, keeping his cool. If it's really Zordon in human form, he wouldn't find it easy to keep his cool and providing guidance in the command center.
Which is probably why they changed that aspect of the show. They had to realize that was a thing. So Zordon originally, they had conceptualized Ernie from the juice bar being Zordon in human form to watch over the Rangers.
Ah, that makes sense.
But they nixed that idea like before even the pilot even aired. The original pilot that was almost like a treatment aired.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so his top 12 Ranger alliances. Tommy Oliver in Dino Thunder Fighting Spirit. Bulk and Skull in Zeo, King for a Day.
Great episodes.
Billy in the Command Center in Zeo, the whole season up to before Rangers of Two Worlds. Trent in Dino Thunder, Truth and Consequences. Meteor Rock personality episode, Leader of the Whack.
Dude, first of all, great job on getting all the title names to these episodes. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, really well done. Bulk and Skull again in Space, Countdown to Destruction. Wait, whoa. Bulk and Skull went to space?
Well, they were in the season because some of the stuff took place still in Angel Grove.
Right.
But when Angel Grove got conquered, they were still in Angel Grove.
Ah, okay. That's pretty cool, though. All right, number 6, Adam and Zeo in Instrument of Destruction to Skull.
That was a good one.
Adam in Space to Carlos in Always a Chance.
That's one where the Black Ranger from that space episode wanted to quit, and Adam, remember the Black Ranger?
Yeah.
He came back for that episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he comes back in a few incarnations of Power Rangers.
See, that's something that's pretty awesome about the cast. It's like, even as they've grown older, they'll be like, okay, yeah, I'll come back.
Well, like Jason David Frank, the Green Ranger, came back just recently.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
You know what? I remember
Megaforce, like a couple years ago.
My little brother, when he was into Power Rangers, and he still might be, my parents got him a DVD, and when he was watching it, I remember walking by and seeing Jason David Frank as like a teacher or something.
Yeah.
It was that. Was that where you?
That was Dino Charge.
Dino Charge. Okay.
No, I'm sorry, Dino Thunder.
Dino Thunder.
He was the Black Ranger. But then also, there's this great episode you should watch that has up to that point all 10 Red Rangers from up to that point.
That's pretty cool.
That are in the same episode.
That's
a good one. Like Jason comes back.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. I like that idea. Okay, so number 8, Cassie and Carone in Lost Galaxy in The Power of Pink and Protecting the Quasar Saber. Number 9, Kimberly's cousin Kelly in Mighty Morphin in Enter the Lizinator, not to be
Oh my
confused with R.
gosh.
Kelly.
Not to be confused with R. Kelly, yeah.
Number 10, Kimberly's blind student dancer in Mighty Morphin in Different Drum. Number 11, Bulk and Skull in Mighty Morphin in When's a Ranger Not a Ranger.
I remember that one.
And finally, Bulk and Skull and Lieutenant Stone in the Angel Grove Junior Police Patrol as backup to the Rangers in Mighty Morphin Season 3. The first half of Zeo, many Easter eggs shown but not mentioned, even though it's been shown out of order due to scenes cut to the Rangers.
Interesting. That's a lot of episodes.
Yeah, it was a
But
mouthful.
they're very well detailed, great on the titles. You get all these dings because that's amazing to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ryan Buetta, you got him.
Yeah, man. So Mighty Morphin Power Rangers will always be in our hearts. Absolutely. Again, it's the Star Trek of us, of our generation. It's kind of sad that they could not have Audrey back for a Ranger role in the succeeding seasons of Power Rangers. She was a badass in the pilot episode. But is it Twee? Is that how you say her name? Yeah. But Twee Trang will always be in our hearts. Rest in peace, Twee. Just curious, what do you guys think of Goldar's new look in the upcoming movie? And Kelly, I love your pink hair. Love you guys and happy holidays from the Ranger Live Chat team. We'll let
Ranger
Kevin
Live
know.
Chat, you guys are awesome. You just recently saw Goldar. If you want to see
did.
what I thought, check out the news feed.
Hold on, I'm gonna look him up again because I saved his picture on my phone just so I can look at it.
I think he looks like I think he looks like nacho cheese.
Yes, he does. As I look at it right now, because this is only the toy.
Yeah.
They don't actually have shots from the movie.
Nacho cheese, bro.
Yeah, he's totally like melting gold nacho cheese.
Well, that's the part of the story so far. Spoiler alert if you don't want to hear this. Rita Repulsa is collecting all the gold in the world, and I guess that's how they make Goldar.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a interesting.
Take?
Yeah. Okay, next comment is from Hirzi, Japan Boy. My very first Power Rangers, of course, was Mighty Morphin, and I got introduced at the age of 6, 7, 8 to the episode of the first 3 Replacement Rangers. At that time, I'm not sure what Power Ranger season was airing on TV, but I watched that episode from a VCD, which was bought for my parents, I believe. A few years later, I managed to watch the very first episode of Mighty Morphin, but I'm more attached to the second team than the first because of how I was introduced to this franchise. Totally makes sense. Just the same way, like, I'm naturally more attached to the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers just because it's the only ones I watched.
I'm attached to the second team.
Yeah, the ninjas.
Well, you are too, the ninjas, yeah.
Yeah, but I like the first ones more just because I like the idea of dinosaurs.
Okay. Did you have to stop? Oh. Andrew Suarez. Whenever I see the first episode, it always feels nostalgic and fresh. I would give it a 4 because not enough fighting. Also, Gung Ho episode is not a 2-parter, DJ. I don't think DJ said that. I think I said that, actually. So I'm going to take that heat off of him. I think I said that. Now the Morphin list. Number 5. Here's what he liked from that episode. The sound effects. Number 4, the background music. Number 3, the unmorphed fight scenes, something you liked.
Totally.
Number 2, when the episode starts, it starts off with "Today on Power Rangers," and shows what that episode's about. I remember that. That's nostalgic for me. It's like, "Today on Power Rangers." I totally remember that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. And whenever an episode ends, the show pauses and text are shown with the names of the executive producers appear.
Yeah, I think that's like a 90s thing in general.
Totally, yeah, I think I was just watching Saved by the Bell and it was like the same thing.
Family Matters did it.
Right.
Full House, like they all did that.
Damn quality. Not so long ago, I went ahead and watched old episodes of Power Rangers. It was a nice experience. It's funny how memories and the perception one has as a child change things. Whatever it is a good and to the point pilot, establish the settings, conflicts, and define the participants in no time. About the conversation of which was the first episode, well, to be honest, Power Rangers always was there during my childhood, so I can't pinpoint the exact episode. Now, regarding about what Kelly said about not judging a series by its first episode, regarding plot and characters, clearly judging it in the first episode is a bad move. Now, if one is judging the general acting, technical attributes, and writing, the first episode is a good point of judgment, like a good point of reference. I get that totally. In both cases, it just can happen that a pilot does things well in regard to the characters and plot, or not. With remembering the episode serving to fix any problems, I think the same for the technical aspects with the budget. Production management changes in the writing stuff can result in the product with varied quality and the production isn't consistent as constant. Wow. That's totally true, though, in any kind of production that you would get through. And Power Rangers probably didn't have the highest budget at the time.
No.
So I totally agree with some of those points. How many episodes would you give a series before you jump?
I did
4.
I was just going to say 4. I think 4 is a good landing point because by that point, the actors and everyone on the set, they kind of have gelled a little bit. And by that point, the writing starts to kick in where you're done being introduced to the beginning of everything.
I agree. 2 Fat Games, best moments from the episode. Number 5, Kimberly's helmet hair joke. Number 4, music. Number 3, Bulk and Skull. Number 2, Alpha. Number 1, Ernie. Power Rangers fan has this to say: I don't have a Morphin list this week. In all honesty, nice to meet you, Kelly. Anthony DeDios, question for you guys other than Day of the Dumpster. What are your other favorite pilot episodes of other Ranger seasons? Great question.
If I've seen any, I'd let you know.
But I think we're going to leave that to a list coming in the future. Maybe the future of Ninja Steel.
Oh, that'd be cool. Okay, so lastly, Mario Ayala. Hi, guys. Awesome Retro Ranger wrap-up. This first episode made my childhood the best, and to this date, Jason is my favorite Red Ranger ever because he was the only one who believed in Zardon. Wait, really? Like, what do you mean by...
Because Zach was hesitant. He was like, I'm not sure we can do this. They were all kind of hesitant to do it.
Okay, and Jason just embraced it.
Jason was like, yeah, let's
That's
do
pretty
it.
cool. Okay, so my top 5 nostalgia moments. Number 5, the music. Number 4, Kimberly joke about the hair and the helmet. Number 3, Jason versus Bulk in the martial arts class. Number 2, when the Rangers report on the Zords for the first time. And number 1, after the Rangers morph, Alpha teleports them to battle and Kimberly says, "Where are we going?" Then Jason says, "We're going to save the world." Amazing job, my friends, and greetings from Puerto Rico.
Yeah. Now, we have these questions and comments from High Five, but I feel like we should save this last one for the next episode for Kelly and DJ to have some responses here.
Absolutely. They can take over.
But we'll have High Five coming up on our next episode and questions and comments from this episode, probably. But Javier, thanks for joining us.
Oh, anytime I could fill in for somebody, I will gladly. And maybe this will give me a chance to catch up on some Rangers action, so I can maybe contribute a little more to the conversation.
You'll be reviewing the comic. Now, Javier's going to be doing our comic stuff along with Dave. Javier's going to be doing the DC, Dark Horse, IDW. Dave's going to be doing strictly indie stuff. But that'll be a lot of fun. You're joining the team in 2017. Yeah. Oh, yeah, by the way, Happy New Year's, guys, because this is going to come out after the New Year.
Yeah. Happy New Year and happy holidays to everyone out there.
Yeah, so Javier's debut is right here on the Retro Ranger Wrap-Up, but you can see him on Wednesdays with all of our comic stuff. Thanks for joining us. Hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with everything trending in geek pop culture.